Right, if you thought Emmerdale couldn't get any more intense, you might want to sit down for this. Joe Tate has been playing a dangerous game, but has he finally met his match? And what about Caleb Miligan? Is he out of the woods, or are things about to take an even darker turn? Stick with me, because we've got all the latest twists, turns, and jaw-dropping moments coming right up. And before we get into it, if you love your soap spoilers as much as we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's start with Joe Tate. Over the last few weeks, we've watched him scheme and manipulate his way through the village, all in desperate search of a kidney donor. First, he had his sights set on Noah, but when that plan fell through, he turned his attention to his uncle Caleb. And let's just say, things took a sinister turn. Joe, being Joe, couldn't take no for an answer, so instead of convincing Caleb the honest way, he sent his accomplice, Sean, to deal with him. But here's the twist. Sean didn't just knock Caleb out. Oh no, he went a step too far and stabbed him. Even Dr. Crowley was left horrified. And let's be honest, if he's shocked, you know things have gone seriously wrong. Now, was this part of Joe's plan? Or has he lost control of the monster he created? Let me know what you think in the comments. So now we've got Caleb fighting for his life on the operating table and Dr. Crowley scrambling to save him. And here's where it gets really messy. Joe does show some guilt. While he's waiting for his own operation, he actually asks if Caleb made it. Now, does that make up for what he's done? Absolutely not. But it does make you wonder, is there still a sliver of humanity left in him? Meanwhile, poor Ruby is in absolute bits. She's been calling and searching for Caleb, only to get the dreaded phone call. Her husband's been attacked and it's bad. When she finally finds him in hospital, she's hit with even more bad news. Caleb has lost a kidney. Now, if you know Ruby, you'll know she's not the type to let this slide. So, while Caleb is coming to terms with what's happened, Joe wakes up from his operation. He checks his scars, knowing full well that his plan worked. But just as he's breathing a sigh of relief, boom, the walls start closing in. Ruby, still in shock, accidentally bumps into Dr. Crowley at the hospital. And let's just say, it's not the friendliest of reunions. Crowley looks guilty as sin, and Ruby, sharp as ever, can tell something's off. Then, just as tensions reach boiling point, a police officer walks into the room. And here's the moment that changes everything. Sean has been arrested. Now, if you were Joe Tate, what would be scarier, prison or facing Caleb's wrath? Because that's exactly what's running through his mind right now. Dr. Crowley gives him the bad news, and suddenly his cocky confidence starts to crack. Meanwhile, Caleb is awake, and while he's weak, we all know this man is no pushover. If Joe thought he could manipulate his way out of this mess, he might have another thing coming. Ruby will make sure of that. So, here's the £1,000,000 question. What happens next? Will Caleb go after Joe when he's back on his feet? Or will the police get to him first? And what about Dr. Crowley? Will he spill the truth to save himself? Or will he go down with Joe? One thing's for sure. Ruby isn't letting this go. And if I were Joe Tate, I'd be very worried right about now. So, what do you think? Will Joe get away with it, or is the game finally up? Drop your predictions in the comments. I read every single one. And if you love staying ahead of the drama, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.